Let's set fire to planet fitness, because then it'll be planet flammableness. Today we are going to be ranking the physical attributes and traits of people. Something similar has been done to this by a person who might be a doctor, I don't know. They made a video talking about organs of people and ranking them. It's similar to this, but not exactly the same. Also, I put my idea on the Google Doc that I use for storing ideas on October 17th. They uploaded October 27th. I don't think it's a coincidence, and if you're watching this, my lawyers will be in contact with you. But here's the video right there. Okay, let's get started with one of the simplest ones of all. Upper body strength is used for, well, I mean, it's pretty obvious, for lifting things and punching things. Overall, it's very helpful in terms of getting work done. If you need to move a large desk at work, then people are going to be like, oh, hey, Gronk, would you like to move the desk? And you'll be like, you are strong and therefore you are caveman. Other than that, it doesn't have much use other than in combat. Overall, I would say B tier. Core strength is very helpful for stabilizing the body when you're doing all kinds of movements, whether it's bending over or running. And in theory, if you have a strong enough core, you can just run while just doing work without like feeling like you're shaking all the time. So you could literally have a mobile desk and just run while doing work. It doesn't do much other than support other muscles. I'm gonna have to put it in A tier. Endurance, I'm going to be somewhat partial to because I do cross country and track and soccer. So all of those involve endurance heavily. Endurance is somewhat muscle work, but mostly breath work. It helps improve your oxygen efficiency. It'll make it so you don't have to breathe as much to have the same energy levels, and you can do a lot more work, not even just in exercise, but in daily activities, etc. You can be a lot more efficient with endurance, I've found. And again, I would put it in S tier, but I don't want to come off as biased. You know what? No. Look at my legs. They are so cool. They are huge. I'm going to put this in S tier. Flexibility is pretty much only used by gymnastics and contortionists. It's very cool for show and also probably has some health benefits. It doesn't really do much. You're gonna have enough flexibility on your own to do daily tasks. So flexibility, I'm going to have to put in D tier. Hair management might not seem like a physical trait that's important. If you are showering or trying to comb your hair in a certain way, having good hair management is crucial because it makes it so you can form your hair however you choose, and also it makes it so you don't have to worry about getting some super highly advanced techno soap, and it makes it so your hair doesn't feel like barbed wire. But other than that, it doesn't do much. I would say C tier. Eyesight is one of the most utilized senses and physical traits on the planet. You use it to see things and identify. Our ability to perceive 3D objects is pretty epic. I don't really have to explain it, like, it's really good. A tier. Hearing is what you're doing now. You're hearing me, and you're hearing all the incoherent babbling that I'm doing. Most of the time, having a heightened hearing ability is not going to make much of a difference. You can use it to identify people's unique foot patterns, but other than that, it doesn't do much. B tier. Actually, no, it's C tier. Taste is both a blessing and a curse. You can use it to taste objects that are good, but you can also use it to taste objects that are bad. If you have a completely nullified sense of taste, then you can just switch your diet to extremely healthy food and not worry about the taste at all because you wouldn't know the difference anyway. However, that also means that you are going to be completely unaware of objects that taste good and in some cases could be subject to poison. So having a sense of taste, it's not that helpful. B tier. Smell. Most of the time it just is bad because you're rarely going to smell something that is very good. You're most likely going to be able to identify things that smell bad, such as the classic fart. Haha. But it can, in some cases, make it so you can smell fire. I'm still gonna have to put it in C tier. Response time. If you hear a loud bang go off, if you have a good response time, you'll be able to immediately stop what you're doing and react, whether or not it's run or fight. The term is called run or fight, by the way. It is a crucial survival instinct, and I can't really try to say like, oh, it doesn't help in daily life, because if you don't have a good response time, like if you're in a situation where you need it, you're dead. A tier. Hand strength is something that no one, for some reason, talks about, but is incredibly valuable, because everyone just thinks like, oh, strength, you pick something up and move it, but no, feel tired. If you have good hand strength, then you can grab something really hard. If you need to like grab a person and just yoink them, you're not going to want them to slip out of your hands. But like I said, it's heavily underutilized by just people overall. I am going to have to put it in C. Having sharp fingernails is the type of thing that you tell your friends about when they are telling you to stop fidgeting by, biting or trimming your nails with your other nails. You're like, oh, but now I have sharp fingernails. No, you don't. You just have a really bad fidget and fairly dull fingernails. And the only thing that it can really be used for, other than just trying to slash people's faces off, is cutting bags or packages open. You just become a human box cutter. I believe we have our first F tier. I've been talking a lot about like strength or endurance or stuff that involves muscles, but I haven't talked about having big muscles. Yeah, look at having big muscles is only good for really one thing, making it so people don't think you're an absolute joke. If you have big muscles, then people are gonna be like, he's so strong, I'm not gonna be mad at him. Muscles are pretty cool, honestly, but other than appearance, they do nothing. And also, they only matter to a select group of people, and by that I mean high schoolers and college freshmen. E tier. Speed, as in you run fast, or you think fast, probably think fast, or run fast. No. Okay, I'm thinking slow. Speed is crucial for running fast. If you have speed, then you can just dominate in, like, pretty much anything. You can dominate in running. Okay, that's about it, but also speed is really cool. Being fast is super cool. And if you have endurance to match that speed, then you can just absolutely demolish people in also running. But, okay, again, biased, A tier. Saliva generation is something that not a lot of people think about. I'm gonna be honest, it's for good reason. It doesn't really help for anything except for spitting on people. And I would put it in like F or E tier, but in a pinch, having good saliva generation can make it so you can just like use it to swallow a pill. D tier. Teeth crushing pressure, or as I say, TCP. I thought that was gonna sound like PSI, but it's how strong your mouth muscles are. People don't really think about this a lot, but if you eat a lot of like hard things, eventually your muscles are going to be trained to, apply more pressure to those things so that it's easier to crush. Overall, I'd say just D tier. Hand stability. You've seen how people sometimes have like their hands sort of shake a bit. If you have really shaky hands, then it's going to be really hard for you to like do anything that requires precision, such as cutting a toenail off or writing. So having stable hands is very good. Also, if you have very stable hands, then you can be a doctor when you have like surgeon hands or whatever. So it is highly useful, and there's really no downsides to having hand stability. I'm gonna have to put hand stability in A tier. Immune system strength. Virus, bad. S tier. I really don't have to say much. If you don't get sick, then that's pretty cool, because it makes it so you can, not feel like actual garbage all the time. Height. As you all know, I am 20 feet tall. I actually dug a massive hole down here so that I can have the camera tripod be at eye level to me, just to make this video. So be sure to subscribe to the channel because I dug a big hole. Having height is useful in pretty much all circumstances in terms of like limbo. I hate limbo. Why? Limbo, bad. For whatever reason, people like you a lot more when you are tall. For literally no reason at all. As a tall person, I have the rights to bully short people. And because I am biased, I am going to put it in S tier. Hand size. How big your hand is. Most of the time it's proportional to your height or arm size. Some people have bigger hands than others. Some people have smaller hands. If you have small hands, then you can use them to your advantage and really get in with wires. You know how the shows always are like, oh, I was a criminal since a kid. My dad was like, small hand, good with go in. But if you have big hands, then you can grab things big. I've never had like hand size be a massive difference in anything. So, D tier. Foot size. Yeah, we're talking about feet now. That's what you want to hear, right? Having big feet, at some point it becomes more of a curse than a blessing. If you have, say, like size 13 or above shoes, if you want to have shoes, guess what? You're not going to be able to go to a shoe store and just be like, oh, I like that shoe, I want it in my size. No, you're going to have the most limited selection of shoes ever, and if you want a type of shoe that is very specific, you want that type of shoe, but it's not available in your size at a store, you have to get it custom ordered. Honestly, I'm going to put it in E tier. Skeletal armor durability. S tier. Pain tolerance is something that is talked about sometimes. People talk about like, oh, what if you just didn't feel pain? Oh, that would be bad because then you wouldn't know how to understand danger. If you have a high pain tolerance, then you can like put yourself through a lot of pain. It makes it so you can do a whole lot more like working out, and also if you're for whatever reason put through torture, it works on you less. So A tier. Posture. As you can see, I have a very good posture. Literally just because I use a standing desk. Having a good posture is good for overall health. It makes it so you don't like feel pain in your bones, and also in the long run, it's gonna, you know, probably extend your life. And I know there are a lot of people who are like, oh, I want to have good time, not long. There's a thing called both. If you just are healthy, you don't experience the effects of aging as much. It's that simple. It's literally been proven by science. Because of this rant that I went on because of posture, I'm going to have to move it from what I would put in A tier to B tier. Sleep deprivation tolerance is basically how long you can go without sleep. So basically like endurance. If you have a very good one, then you can just like have 8 hours of sleep one day, just blow through one day, and then the next day without sleep, and then just completely crash. So this makes it so you need to sleep less, but it can sometimes throw your schedule out of whack. If you only sleep every other day, then your day of when you sleep and your day of when you don't sleep schedules are going to be drastically different. So I'm gonna have to put it in A tier. Need for rest is basically how much rest you need, not how long you can go without it. There are some people who only need 2 hours of sleep per day, and that is really cool. I'm gonna try it myself, honestly. I'm gonna work to it. I told myself I was gonna do it last year, but then I just didn't for whatever reason. If you only need 2 hours of sleep per day, then you can just spend 22 hours just working and then just crash for 2 hours and then you're back on it. You become nocturnal and not nocturnal at the same time, basically. It is incredibly useful. There's literally no downsides because you can sleep 2 hours a day so you can have a consistent schedule. S tier. And there we have it. Our tier list of very unbiased opinions from me on what physical traits are better. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe because I upload the best content on YouTube. I don't dump just 1 hour of straight just Minecraft gameplay every day. If I missed any physical traits, let me know. I'm going to make a mental trait tier list pretty soon, so I can probably just tag on these to that. Subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, share it to your friends, and be sure to check out that video of the organ guy. Okay, what quirky bit am I gonna do this time? Maybe I will just turn off the